Go down, Evan, you can do it. Go down the slide, come on. Go down the slide. This seems like such an easy thing for most, but this is really difficult for my nonverbal autistic son. Good job! You got this, dude! It's so small. Imagine having to slide down a cliff. This is what it feels like for him. Good job! So most people might think that going to a playground with my autistic sons is just like going anywhere with any kid. But when it comes to playgrounds, there's actually a lot going on beneath the surface that we have to account for in order to protect and make sure my son's nervous system is regulated. So I want to talk about 5 things that we have to account for before we go to any playground with our severely autistic child. A typical thing that a lot of severely autistic children, hi Evan, have is nervous system dysregulation. And so a lot of what we do is making sure our son's nervous system is balanced and regulated. A lot of autistic children might not like the way their clothes brush on their skin. Others may not like certain noises, lights, and even having other children around. So it just all depends on each child, and that's why it's an autism spectrum. So, number 1 is the hidden demand of play while in a playground. A typical child would basically just run and play. The instructions are play, be kind to other kids, and just do whatever you want because you're in a playground and most kids know what to do. For some autistic kids, including my son, go play is a demand that has a lot of ambiguity. My son will go to a foreign playground and not know what to do. It could be that there's too many kids, or it could be structures on the playground that are unfamiliar to him that he doesn't know what to do with. It could also be permission-based. He knows that there's boundaries. He's not allowed to go into the back office when you're in a shopping mall. He kind of knows to stick around us. And so when we're in a playground, he literally needs the instruction of what to do, and go play is way too ambiguous, and in some cases that could set off the nervous system. For Evan, what I usually do at first is I bring him to an area of the playground where I know he's familiar with it. For example, the slide. I brought him directly to the slide in this playground because it's the first time we've been here, and he knew exactly what the slide was, and so that grounded him. He's been on a million slides before. Every slide to him is unpredictable, so his nervous system gets activated. And in that moment, he's now in assessment mode, which in a way is still consistency for him, which then translated to being grounded and being regulated. Evan, go push Leilani. You wanna go push Leilani? Leilani wanted to be pushed, and so I wanted Evan to follow through. And this is just another form of social skills. Plus, it was also a specific instruction that I know he would feel safe with, and it's also helping him regulate. What's really great is that having a sister like Leilani, she really pushes Evan to do things that he wouldn't typically do. So she really wanted to be pushed, and somehow he understood what she wanted. And it's actually helping him regulate as well, because going in circles helps balance the nervous system. So back to the slide. He had to contemplate whether or not that slide was safe, but his process in figuring out whether the slide was safe or not was actually grounding, and it was actually regulating for him. At some point, he sat down, which he always does, and then things started to become predictable. So when everything was predictable in his process of assessing whether the slide was safe, he eventually sat down on the slide, and then his nervous system felt safe, he felt balanced, and that's when he slid down. Then he remembered, I guess, that when you're on a playground, you go and you play. The second thing I want to talk about is equipment on the playground that might look familiar, but if he's had in the past any kind of dysregulation on the equipment, he's going to start acting like the first time he's ever seen it. And so what we're talking about in my son's case is the slide. And I had just mentioned that earlier. He's been on a million slides all over the world, and every time he comes to a new slide, or it could even be a slide that he's been on before, he doesn't know if it's safe. And the reason for that is because a slide is always unpredictable, depending on if there's a lot of dirt on the slide, or if it's slippery one day because it rained and on another day it's dry and it's sticking to your clothes. It's unpredictable, and he's known that over time. So no matter what, he needs to assess the slide as if it's the first time he's been on it. It's the only way he will be able to feel safe on that slide. Equipment is the same way. Chairs, furniture, everything is the same way. If it didn't feel safe in the past and he hasn't developed enough of a pattern to know what feels safe to him in his nervous system, he will tread carefully. So I used to tell him all the time, you've been on the slide before, come on, just go down. And I didn't understand why he was always assessing the slide, but slides have always been unpredictable. When we go to a playground, I attempt to prioritize playgrounds that have gates and fences all around, because if I look away from my son for a split second, I want to make sure he's not like running off onto the street or somewhere that I can't find him. So there are times where we go to playgrounds that don't have any fences and I just have to keep an extra eye on him. However, when you have gates around, it's so much better. So I want to talk about the mapping of a playground. That's number 3 in the important points to consider when taking my autistic child to a playground. As soon as we enter the park, I am looking for all the entrances and exits to the gates. And if there's a lot of kids around, I am also assessing the way they are treating the gates. There are some parks, it pisses me off like to no end, where the parents or the kids go in and out of the gates and they leave the doors open. And it so upsets me. There's one park that we take our children to and it has security there. So there's always a security guy lurking around and he's making sure that when you're in the park, you have a kid with you. Because that's the requirements to be inside of the playground. You have to have a kid with you. But anyway, so I always tell the security guard to tell the people at the park to make sure that the gates are always closed. If there's ever a parent that isn't really being mindful and leaving the gates open. And so the security guard at that particular park is really helpful in this case. But if not, I always make sure I'm by the gate or I talk to the parent to make sure the gate is closed and I explain the situation. I'm like, my son will elope like a speeding rocket and it'll be really, really difficult to run after him if I'm across the playground attending to my other child. I'm also then creating like a team. Go ahead, go play. I'm also creating a team around my autistic son so that now these parents know I have an autistic son that I'm looking out for, that I'm making sure he stays safe. Number 4 is the delayed reaction effect. The park can have a lot of stimulation. There's equipment, there's kids, there's parents. It might be crowded, it might not be crowded. It might have like soft turf like this, which could be dysregulating. What I'm looking for is also what is building underneath my son emotionally. So a kid might cut him off, or he might be going towards the swing and a kid might take the swing before he gets to it. And so in Evan's eyes, that swing was like taken away from him. It really wasn't, like the kid didn't know he was approaching the swing, but in Evan's brain, it's very focused, as a lot of autism brains are. And so another kid taking the swing could mean that it's taking something away from him. So that may not set him off, but he is now building. He might decide to go somewhere else, and on his way there, another kid might cut him off. None of these kids are doing it intentionally, but his capacity is now getting too high for his nervous system to handle it. And so now that's building up. So the kid cutting him off, it could create another dysregulation reaction. Over time, it seems like it might be a delayed reaction, but he is actually building up slowly. And then at some point, the top of the regulation tolerance will break. And that's where he'll be completely dysregulated. It'll seem like it came out of nowhere, and then a full-on meltdown will occur. So I'm always looking out for potential threats to my son's nervous system. Do you have anything to say about that, Evan? Evan has spoken. Okay, so number 5 is Control equaling safety. Maybe he wants you to open it. So I gave the kids these chomps things, and Evan just gave both of them to Leilani. He either doesn't want it or he wants her to open it. Go, ask Leilani to open it. No, go. Go, Evan. I want to do video. Oh my gosh. He has to come like right between. Oh my gosh. You want her to open it? Can you get up and go over there? Happy guy. Okay, maybe he doesn't want it. I don't know. Try to give it to him. If he doesn't want it, you can either have it or whatever. Okay, so number 5. So talk about control, talk about safety. So there are times where my son will go to a park and all he'll want to do is swing. And sometimes I get upset. I'm like, we have a huge park. Your brother and sister are running around all over the place. Come on, exert some energy. Get off the swing and go run and slide and hop on a different equipment. And he doesn't want to. All he wants to do is swing over and over and over and over and over. That is because his nervous system wants to feel safe. So sometimes he'll get upset, like he'll literally start to escalate when I don't want him to be on the swing anymore, or when he actually has to take a turn. And that's social skills in the making. Like if there's other people that are waiting for the swing, and I'm like, okay, you've been on there for 20 minutes, time to give another kid a chance. I explain it to him. Sometimes he seems like he understands it. Other times he just won't have it. But he has to get off the swing to go do something else. Now, I could see that as complete rigidity, but it's not. It's just his nervous system wanting to be safe. And unlike other neurotypical kids who can regulate their systems by intellectually understanding the situation and then making it emotional, and they're able to let go of it, with autistic kids, it's more complicated than that because a lot of their world is black and white. When you teach them something, it kind of sticks with them, and it's really, really difficult to transition to teaching them conditional instructions. Like, yes, you can stay on the swing, but if someone's waiting, you have to get off the swing. Like, understanding that is really, really difficult. So for my autistic son, I believe part of him being able to regulate quickly in a crowded environment is because he has a brother and sister where for as long as he can remember, he has had to take turns. And so oftentimes he will get upset, but he'll get over it because he will remember the pattern of when he had to share something in the past. Again, when we go into a playground and he goes into one of the pieces of equipment and he doesn't want to go anywhere else, or he wants another kid to get off it, it's simply regulating and feeling safe for him. That is his only motive. Knowing that actually allows me to have more compassion for him and be able to explain it to others. If there's a kid waiting for the swing, just because he has autism doesn't mean he gets any special treatment. Like, this is a park meant for everybody. So if a kid wants the swing and Evan's already been on it, he's gonna get off. Like, I'm gonna tell him, you gotta get off. And that new pattern in him will eventually get wired so that next time I tell him to get off something, it'll start to ingrain in his system as a pattern that feels safe. So in a nutshell, this is how we see playgrounds. When I look at a new playground, I look at it as a way for a nervous system to acclimate and feel safe in it. Other people might see fun, kids having fun. And yes, while I see that as well, for my son Evan, it's not about fun yet until the nervous system feels safe. Again, we are a family of 5. We're raising 2 autistic sons. This one here is nonverbal, and we have a second son who has level 2 autism. He is verbal, and if any of our videos resonate with you, please subscribe, comment, share. We would love to bring you along on our journey. Until our next video, thank you, bye.